to the Shadows of Dreams. I'm Journey Ryan, right here on My Psychic Connection, and no dream show is equipped without a K.
Without a V.
Without a K, a dream show with Journey and K. The dream show. Oh my gosh, can you believe our first season is over for the dream show? This is our last one for a little while until we come
finale
for the dream show, guys. Now, all the other shows are still going live. They're still going strong. We're in a full season, but this one is the last one for just a little while. It's going to be archived for a couple weeks, and then we're going to be coming back with some bigger and better things for you guys when it comes to dreams. So we can't wait for you guys to take a look and check that out. So this one is the last one for a couple weeks, but we will get back to it. Guys, do remember this is the dream interpretation show. So if you have psychic questions, they will not be answered on here. We will talk about your dreams and the things that you guys have going on in your dreams. So guys, make sure that those are the questions that you're asking and pay attention to what the banners are saying, because they always tell you what type of show we've got going on. All right. So we've got some great stuff. Have you been dreaming good? I have been on a understanding everything I need to do, and then waking up, I just read a full book of knowledge.
Ooh, that's juicy. I like that.
I just been like, oh my God. And you know, it's a lot of the things that I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I know I have to type thing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I understood, but sometimes I wish I knew what I was seeing in the dream so I could, you know, tear it down like we do these ones to find out what's going on.
Yeah. I've had no dreams that I remember this week. And so it's been a quiet dreamland.
You've been processing and understanding everything that your consciousness is trying to tell you, which is good. We need that in our lives. So, you know, I'm very excited that we are here. We get to be here with these people and get to talk about dreams, which you don't get many shows that they don't talk about dreams as often.
No, and I think that dreams are like one of the most interesting things ever. You know, as I said, I started off with dreams that are called visions, right? And so I always find it so interesting to see what different people see. And again, we've talked about this before too. Not every dream is the same. Not every bird means that this certain symbol every single time. You know, there's different meanings to different things depending on what else is going on in the dream. So I just enjoy dissecting them with you.
Absolutely. And getting to know, you know, when you're talking about your dreams, we get to know you guys on a deeper level, whether you know or not. We get a chance to see the inner workings of who you are as a person and how you accept things. And what don't accept as reality, so we can see what you're resistant to as well. So learning about someone's dreams and then actually getting a reading with that person, I'm going to tell you what, if you have a psychic reader that can read your dreams and then read your situation, they're going to know how to take the information which is being brought to them and then bring it to you in a way that you're going to be able to understand it, because they know how you accept your dreams and what you don't accept in your dreams and why you remember that part of your dream because you didn't accept it. So we know how to communicate it to you so that you understand and accept the reading that's being given. Yeah. So it's awesome.
I'm ready for some dreams. I'm ready to dig into the dreams.
All right. Well, let's start off with our first dream of the night. I'm going to start us off. So here we go. We've got Gemma says, hi, both. Had a dream last night that Adam and I wanted to get married. We eloped to a different city to wed. I was waiting in the courthouse for him, but I needed to pee real bad, but it wasn't allowed out of the room. I panicked and tried to get out of the room. I eventually did, searching everywhere but couldn't find the toilet. Well, this has a lot to do with, this is more about nervousness and where you would like. So this is more of a desire dream. Like your desire is to marry Adam. You're wanting to wed. You guys, the elope part is actually not about you guys, because you said you went to a different city. It's not about you guys going to a different city to get married in. The thing is that you're wanting to, in your real life, you're wanting to change locations. So that was processed in there, and in your head, you think the only way that you and Adam are going to get to that next level is that you would have to leave the city that you're in to be closer to him. So that's playing a huge part on why you couldn't find, like, you had to go to a different city in order to make that happen. The thing about the toilet, you're gonna laugh when I say this, Gemma, is because the bullshit is you can't find the other place to go. The toilet is the representation of bullshit. In this dream, you cannot find the place to go. So in your waking life, trying to find the next city to go to, you can't find the place. So the reason you can't find the toilet is you can't find the city, and you can't find what's going on there. So it's definitely playing a part. And the reason why you've seen it, it's a symbolic thing of what you would consider when someone says you have to go to the bathroom or literally shit. So that it's bullshit. So that's where the toilet takes its place. I'm going to pass this over to Kay. I'm sure she's laughing at me by the way I just described that, but hey, what the hell?
No words. So I agree with a lot of what he was saying. There's that desire that's definitely coming out in your dreams. And of course, the things that we want so bad, we crave in our waking day, they're going to be really prevalent in our dreams, right? So I think there's that determination of you wanting to have that. But also think about the frustration that goes into not being able to find a bathroom, right? And you really have to go and you can't get there. You can't get out of a room. There's that trap feeling. You get overwhelmed. So having all of these energies that are also presenting themselves, right? When you think about all the emotions that you're actually going through in that dream as well, I think you can actually find that in your waking day as well. What is overwhelming you? What is frustrating you? What is it that you're trying to figure out or trying to get right that's not going right? What is it that you may be wanting, since we're mirroring back to that relationship? What is it that you want in that relationship or you're desiring in that relationship that's not happening? I would say there, if you're looking and getting this commitment and these things here in the dreams, but even still, you're not able to fully get the full conclusion of what you want because there's still something getting in the way. I would say again, what's happening in your relationship that is reflective of you being so frustrated and overwhelmed and agitated that it's not going right or that you want to go a certain direction. So I think that's playing a lot into this dream. Okay. So remember those present day emotions that we're feeling, the waking feelings that we have, those really do seep into the dreamland. And then it comes even more reflective when we symbolize the people that we have these emotions for, that we haven't got to express these certain things to, right? We're going to see those come out in different outlets in different ways in that dream. Okay. So I hope that helps. That was a heck of a dream.
Well, the thing about it is that, the part where she couldn't find the bathroom, which is in general where she's getting stressed out over the crap that happens when she's trying to look for a place to go. So that symbolic gesture, that symbolism was funny to me.
Yeah,
so I was,
it is.
The part where she's like, "This is bullshit," you know what I mean?
I'm so frustrated. Yeah, it is. And it's literally showing in her dream. It's seeping in. And until she faces those things up front, then she's going to keep noticing that her dreams are going to have these kind of scenarios, which I wouldn't want to be looking for in Solid all the time.
No, absolutely not. All right, well, let's keep it going. We've got more dreams to come. Gemma, thank you so much for that dream, and we hope that helped and gave you some understanding as to what was going on in that dream. All right, so Kay is going to take this one starting off, and then I'll jump in afterwards.
All right, so we have Kat Kat says, hi, I had a dream that Jeff wanted a family with me last night. I find it really odd because he never wanted a family when we were together. Jeff was helping me move states and was fighting with my dad when he met my family in the dream. I was drinking moldy milk and Jeff was eating good eggs when he said he wanted a family. It was weird. So there's a lot of things that stand out to me. The huge contrast, literally yin yang energy, that pops out here, right? Things that are literally just kind of disgusting that are happening, whilst the other person has everything that they want. And I think that the thing is there's something here that hasn't been faced, more than likely, in that relationship. And there's things that you feel like that person got to just go and have and experience and live, while you kind of got to settle with this. I don't feel as though that situation ended fully in the way that you wanted it to. And then here we are again with that word desire. Those desires still seep in there. And it may not be something huge. This isn't saying that every day you're craving for this person to come back, but it could be things that happened in that relationship that you missed. There could be something that is reminding you in this present moment of that could be reflecting back. But nonetheless, there's something that's unresolved there. And I'm sure you agree with that as well, that there's something that's unresolved in that situation, and it's you can see it plain as day, right? You're like, I'm drinking this moldy stuff. I can see it plain as day. But you're just sitting here asking me for this family. Like, this doesn't make any sense. It's coming out of left field, right? That's your energy saying it. You know that it doesn't make any sense. You know that this isn't a real thing, but you also know that there's things that you haven't got to clear up, or things that you haven't got to find resolution in this. Also, I think it's also very huge to think of the fact that you were standing there being presented with the scenario that you had always wanted, right? And you, even still in the moment, couldn't enjoy it, right? Because you were drinking the moldy milk. You were sitting in a scenario that you weren't expecting to be in. So I think for you, there's a lot of things that maybe you need to face, or things that you're not seeing head on, or that you do see rather, but you're not willing to accept, is what it is. So maybe take time with that, and also take time to think about what it is that maybe you need to heal or move forward from with him. Okay. All right. I'm going to pass it over to Journey.
All right. It's my turn to hit the ground running on that. And so I'm going to say a lot that between the connection between you and Jeff and your family and Jeff, even in the dream state, it's showing here that the family disapproves of Jeff in general. So there's the argument there. The moving of the situation is moving yourself, removing yourself from the situation. And Jeff's argument was to keep you there, while your family was like, no, she's leaving. And this is what you were being seen. So I'm going to take it in this dream and in reality that you and Jeff are not together, because that shows immediate separation. So subconsciously, you know that this is separation. That moldy milk is showing you the toxicity that Jeff provides for you. Jeff provided you a toxic chemical, and you were still drinking it, meaning you were allowing him to get away with everything. And the thing is that you wanted a family, and Kay was just saying it was something that you wanted, but he wouldn't give you. But then in the dream, he wanted a family, and you couldn't accept it. Well, the thing about it is, look at what Jeff was eating. He was eating eggs. What do women produce in order to have babies? Eggs. He didn't want the family. He was mocking you. He wasn't giving you what you wanted. That's why you couldn't accept what he was giving you, because he was mocking you in the dream. It was just another reminder that he wasn't willing to give you exactly what it was that you want. You were giving him the best years of your life, and he wasn't giving you anything in exchange except for toxic milk. And the symbolism of what milk may be. He wasn't giving you, what do you feed a baby? She says, wow, that's so insightful. When you feed a baby, what do you feed a newborn? Mother's milk. The milk he was giving you was toxic, meaning you would never have a child with him. And if you were, he would abuse that child. That child would be neglected from him. So It's best that you keep yourself separated from this person, because even subconsciously you are telling yourself, I don't need to be here. And you are trying to understand and grasp what is happening here and what had happened here. And you were giving your best years while you were getting shit on and getting nothing but toxic energy. And you absorbed that toxic energy for quite some time for you to be continuously drinking it throughout the dream. You drank the milk. I can guarantee you drank the milk the entire time, but couldn't understand why you were drinking it. It wasn't the actual drinking it. It was the actual being in that energy 24/7, all the time, being shoved in your face, just like the glass of toxic milk, moldy milk, being shoved down your throat. So you were, not only was that's also a symbolism of not being able to voice or communicate what you need to say because it was being pushed back down. The toxicity always overruled anything that you said. Anything that was healthy, that could save the relationship, was being drowned out by all the toxicity. And I hate to say it the way I'm about to, but I really hope Jeff is out of your life, because it's not a person. Even your subconscious is telling you, get the hell out. Get the hell out. Wow.
Yeah.
The messaging in that, when I saw the eggs and then he was eating the eggs and she wanted a family,
Yeah.
and then he was mocking her about what she wanted and he was eating the eggs and what do you feed the baby? And I was like, holy shit, look at all the symbols. I was like, yeah, get him
yeah, grab him up. There's so much awareness that was in the dream, so many things that she observed. I think that says a lot. I don't know. There was a lot of detail.
But that's good to have those types of details. It gave all that symbolism gave me all the information I needed.
Yeah.
To really understand.
Definitely a great dream.
Yeah, you definitely got more out of it too, because she added more meat to the bones there. She says, laugh out loud. Yeah, I needed all those little details. And that's what we need to tell you guys when it comes to explaining your dreams, giving us those inner details, even though they may not make sense to you, or that means nothing. They do. Yeah. Every little bit of your dreams has some type of symbolism, some type of energy. And there's energy. She says, I get blown away by how dreams can bring so much from the subconscious to the conscious awareness. Absolutely. Yeah. And dreams that we remember are the dreams that we couldn't understand while we were sleeping. Having them broke down into that allows you to see what you couldn't understand subconsciously. So it's pretty cool.
Adrian says, so excited I caught you both on here tonight. First time seeing this one. Yay. Well, hello.
Welcome. All right. Seems like I just caught it. And we're going on a break for a couple of weeks with this show, but we will be back, guys. Don't worry. We're just going to take a small break for just this show. The rest of the shows are still airing. Don't think that's what's happening.
Stay tuned.
Exactly. Dream Interpretations will be back. We're just taking a small break with it. All right, let's go ahead and take another dream. And I'm starting this one. Ooh, it's squirrel. Oh, we got squirrel. Ooh, piece of candy. So squirrel says, this is not a dream, but it's a awake dream, also known as a daydream. Says, and the question isn't really about the waking dream, but it is about the possibilities. So yeah, I hope you can follow, because sometimes I speak squirrel. I'm pretty sure you invented squirrel, but okay. She says, so I have severe narcolepsy and cataplexy, which comes with really interesting hallucinations. One in particular is when I'm in a car and sometimes I see a fox that is red and white and shaped like a Chinese dragon with a trumpet nose. It flies and follows the car, and another time I saw a deer get hit by a car get hit by a car in front of me and turned into a bird and flew away. Interesting and very real looking stuff, but obviously not real. One of my friends said that they think I am seeing different dimensions. Do you think it's possible or it's just BS? So no, it is possible. There are people who have the capability to walk through different dimensions. Now, untrained people should not walk through dimensions like that. Um, with the narcolepsy, though, you're always in a state, you're always in a dream state, so you're never truly 100% awake. So with your narcolepsy, you are also what you see as a hallucination is a daydream. You are seeing them physically. Some people see them in their heads, but you are seeing them outside of your body. So they're not in your head. They are out for your visions to see, and that's why you're calling them hallucinations, but they are a part of your dream state. She says, laugh out loud. I said, untrained. I said, I'm untrained. And yes, never awake. Exactly. You are never awake with the narcolepsy. So you do have the capability, and it would be cool for you to slowly take baby steps to see where that takes you. But I don't suggest it when you are high of stress, overwhelmed, high anxiety, any of those things, because you will lose yourself very quickly. The thing about when you're, let's say, I'm pretty sure while you're having an episode, let's say narcolepsy's, you know, getting you real good, you fight it to call it fuzzy headness, like I'm in a fuzzy state. Reality check, you are in a non-fuzzy state, you are fighting it. So you're trying to get to the realm of sleep. You're trying to get back where you're programmed. You're trying to get back in your lane. You are always, you ever hear the terminology where people say, oh, I just got a second wind, I'm good. You live in the second wind, meaning that the energy is borrowed. It's borrowed energy. You live on borrowed energy. She says, oh, yeah, I often fuzzy head. Well, it's not always good to fight that, because with those fuzzy head moments are moments of clarity. And I know to wake up from someone who has narcoleptic episodes to take a short nap and then trying to wake up. But the thing about it is that you fight it, which makes it worse, and it takes longer for you to recover. So be careful with that. She said, I lost all my spoons, laugh out loud. Where'd you put them? Where'd you put them? We can find them. But yeah, no, the energy that you are always in that dream state of mind, you are one of those people that can walk through dimensions. So it is not BS, but there's a lot. I'm going to give you lots of warning about that. It's very rare that people can do that. It is not a common gift. So, but you can get lost in dimensions, which can also put you in what I call a mini coma until you re-find your body. So be careful with that. So I need you to make sure that we talked about anchors on this show. Always look for an anchor, because it is a dream state. It is a dream state. She says, I get so excited when other people can see the stuff I see. Right. And she says, and yes, I go into mini comas. Right, because you're stepping away from yourself and not knowing how to get back. Be careful with that. You are always in the dream state. You will always live in the dream man. Most people with narcolepsy, now this is a myth, a mythology story that I know that comes from the Native Americans, where those who live in the dream, and they called it the dreamland, when they crossed over, when it was their time to pass as a person, they would come back as the Sandman. They live in the dream world, not only in life, but in death. Ooh, mythology, yes. So even with you deciding to come to this planet and say, I'm going to live here, you're still in the dreamland because you can't live outside of the dreamland. You can't. You wouldn't be able to function. You wouldn't know what to do. But I'm sitting here hogging all the time, so let me throw it over to Kay so she doesn't bitch slap me with a chair.
I mean, yeah, if there's anything left for me. No, one of my theories that I say too is like I genuinely believe that you can travel dimensions to astral project. I believe in all the stuff, everything. One of my first gifts is of dreams, so I'm considered a dream empath. And with that, there's we can see things. There's things that I could try to explain to other people that maybe would make no sense, but to me, they make perfect sense because, it just shows in my dream. For you, I feel like you are like the things that you're seeing, I feel like they are, I know you're saying they're not real, but they are very real. I feel like you're getting to see something, or you're getting to kind of get this glimpse into something that a lot of us don't get to see. And then also another thing is, considering you do have a condition of sorts, right? There's always something when we think of anything with the mind. We have two sides of our brain, and most of us will never unlock that other side. You're one of those rare breeds who are tapping into the side of your brain that you're getting to see, feel, and experience things that, again, the rest of us won't get to. I do agree with Journey when he's saying that there's needing a sense of grounding. Whatever that may be for you. It's much like when you meditate and you can kind of drift off into meditation, and sometimes you can get trapped in that lost space. Same way here. Squirrel says most of it's so beautiful. I really want it to be real, but some of it can stay in its own daggone dimension. And that's life too, right? And even just us on our common day to day, right? There's things that we're like, we wish that that wouldn't be what it is, but it is. Unfortunately, we can't pick and choose, but you can adjust to it. You can take time to start to figure out how you can anchor yourself in some of these moments that you're having. You can find the beauty that's in it. It's almost like you get to be your own Alice in Wonderland, right? It's your own sense, and it's your own journey. I think for you, maybe it's time to really kind of dive more into some of those things that you do see. I don't know if you do any art, or if you do, I know you said you do like to journal, but if you do like to art, maybe drawing those things out. She goes, "Oh my God, I love the way you put that." But maybe start putting what you're seeing to paper. That may also help to bring things more into focus for you, because maybe there are certain things that you're not fully seeing. I don't know why I keep feeling like I need, like, if there's a picture, there's something more that you can see, or there's something that you can get out of you. And I think it'll help find a balance between both of these angles that you are in. She says, I wish I could draw. I tried to draw my fox, but it looked like a flat, like a flat parrot. I can't draw anything either. You should see my stick figures. They would scare you. But however it is, if you're good with your words, you can journal it out. You can write it out. Even how you did it here, your description, I can literally almost see it. Even the colors kind of stand out to me. So for you, just whatever that is, get that out, because I feel like there's a way for you to connect both, and it'll make you feel a little bit more stable, and grounded. And also maybe I know you have the narcolepsy and things like that, and there's nothing you can do about that. But there is a way that maybe you can make it more comfortable, and not so like, this thing is just happening to me. No, I can actually find the good parts in it, where it's taking me. So I don't know. I would say I would just take a little time with that. But that was definitely a great question, Scroll. I love the interesting ones.
Yes, that was definitely a good one. And to be a person who can always stay in that flux of dreamland, always lives there. And something else, she says, thank you both so much. Oh, there is very much humor to be found in all of it. But the thing too is, like, when she gets to the fuzzy head energy and she's trying to get back to that the her natural state of where she needs to be, there it's kind of, Gonna give an example of like diabetes. Diabetics, they can feel the same way when their sugar's too high or when their sugar's too low. When they're in the middle, they feel just fine. So when you're in that middle, you feel just fine. But when you're trying to get back, when your blood sugar, where your dream state is high, you're going to feel fuzzy headed. When your dream state is trying to wake, when you're finally trying to snap out of your dream state, you get really dizzy. It is when you are at your worst, is when you're actually trying to snap out of that state of mind and you are not used to it. So it's like being reborn to the world. I had to say that because it was the whole time Kay's talking and she's adding to it and it's just piling up, getting higher. I'm like, yeah, I know, I can feel this in me. Yeah. So it's got to be very interesting. You'll have to start drawing some of the things that you see.
Yeah, I think she's got to get it out. She's got to get it out. If she gets it out, I think it'll bring it. Sometimes putting things to paper does it. Says I walk like a sidewinder.
All I could do is see her sidestep the whole way. Right into the and she does it without a net, y'all. All right.
Squirrel the Dream Walker.
Moss Squirrel. The Dream Walker. It'll be a new show on like NBC.
That would be so again, you come up with the best ideas. I would watch it.
All right. So let's go ahead and take our next dream. Who do we got? Okay, starting us off.
All right, so we have Son of Squirrel. Remember the dream a while back around Trump running for president. So I get part of the dream. But the whole country was under siege. Tanks, bombs, trenches, masses of civilians running and trampling each other. Red and orange sky, barbed wire. I was trying to traverse all this, avoiding getting obliterated or trampled, trying to traverse insanely rocky and mountainous, totally destroyed land, trying to get to my then boyfriend, still a friend of mine, just so I could see him and know if he was okay and be with someone in our last moments. I just wanted to know if he was okay and to see him once before we both died. It was an online relationship. All right. So So I think the beginning is very self-explanatory, considering a lot of the things that the pressure, the energy, the stress, kind of the world is going through, especially during that time frame of when that presidency was kind of going on. And all the kind of chaos that you were seeing happening around you, right? That makes a lot of sense because you didn't feel settled, you didn't feel safe, more than likely, right? And this plays a lot into kind of backtracking to other dreams that you had, right? That lack of feeling that safety, that security, and yet you still reaching out for the person who would give you that, which at that time was someone who was important to you. That was your boyfriend at the time. So, I'm again looking for the person who gives me this sense of support, but then also knowing that was a huge thing, was that you knew that there was death that was going to come. It was, for you, it was a certain thing. So I would say, I would question, what is it that you were like knowing was coming? What was kind of staring you in the eye? That you were like, I know I have to face that. I know that it's going to come. There's nothing I can do about it, but I can kind of enjoy what I have right now. Son of Scroll says, yeah, I felt very unsafe. I was worried I'd have to totally flee. Yeah, this is an intimidating, again, situation where, again, now your anxiety's up because you're think of all the emotions that you have to feel while you're desperately searching to just try to get to this person, while you're trying to get out of these situations. You know there's all this chaos that's coming. We see the red and the oranges. Those are things of a lot of anger, a lot of pain, a lot of fear. There's so much that's kind of just driving in here. Yeah, I'm not sure what I knew was going to harm us, though. But it was the idea that there was the chaos that was already brewing. So what else was kind of happening around you there. And I feel like this is more than just one thing, because mind you, yeah, you were saying there was just this term of this presidency that was going on, but there was so much chaos, there was so much war, there was so much destruction that was around you, and then even the area that you were in was rugged. So this tells me that you didn't have an easy time at that time either. You weren't going through the easiest of journeys. You were trying to figure things out. You were trying to just make do. You were trying to do the best that you could, and it seems like you did what you could in that moment. Sun Scroll says, yeah, I think it might have been around a period of time where I was full and afraid of the world was going to end, at least as we knew it. And that and if you think about it, at that time, that is exactly what was happening. Especially for anybody, because I remember how I felt for anybody who was different. You didn't know what life was going to be like. There was people who literally just wanted to being nasty, harmful, awful people, right? For no real reason. So, I mean, I think that a lot of the happenings that were going on around at that time were very much so coming into your dream. And another, what's happening in our conscious life coming and reflecting back in that subconscious. But I'll let Journey go because I realize I said a lot.
Right. And did you call me easy in that? I think you did. Anyway. Okay, so Son of Squirrel, tons of things going on here. So believe it or not, in the beginning of your dream, the Trump situation was a timestamp. Trump really wasn't playing the part, and other than he was just the timestamp. Yeah, there was a lot of chaos going on around him, things like that. The real going through the hills, the bombs, everything that was going on was not that the world was in chaos in the sense of like war, but we were fighting a different type of war. Everybody was running from COVID. No one knew if we were going to live and die, if you were to get that. So there was a lot of anxiety, like Kay was putting out there. Son of Squirrel says, yeah, he was never mentioned in the dream, but that was when it happened. Right. So timestamp. It was something that your mind connected to as a timestamp. So that way you could always remember when that happened. But the dream of the anxiety of COVID being out there, your boyfriend online, when you can't get to someone physically and there's something that harmful in the world, if they are possibly to get it, and then the anxiety of them possibly not making it, as we lost millions of people when that happened, your mind went into overload. You were trying to come to understand where everything was coming to an end, where everything was never going to be the same again. You're right. It's not the same. The entire world has changed. Their mentality, their mind slip, the going backwards in time, not feeling safe due to the fact of, narcissistic type people out there spewing toxic stuff that we have laid to rest so many years ago that has now not only just affected the US, but it has affected the entire world. Everybody is seeing some type of a racial culture, and it's something that we all didn't talk about. It still existed, but it wasn't out in the open, and now it's back out in the open, and them doors eventually will slam shut on it, but it is going to take a while. It took a long time to get them doors to close before. It's going to take a while to shut them back down. Hopefully they put them in a basement, pour concrete over it, and just put a road on top of it, because ain't nobody need that bullshit. Anyway, but I get where you were feeling unsafe. There was so much violence, yeah, and hatred going on at the time, bursting out. Yes, because there was no safe place except for within your home or within yourself. It made a lot of people close off. It made people that were coming out go back into a closet because they were scared that they would be killed. There was also times where people thought they would die if they would get the common cold, COVID, flu. The flu still kills people. There's still fear around that. Thing is that you picked up on all this, all your anxieties played a huge part in it, and that's what I feel like this dream really was about, is because you, in honesty, it's more about the not being able to get to your boyfriend to make sure your boyfriend was okay. Because at that point in time, your boyfriend was your heart. That's why the boyfriend was a main focus in the stream as well. So, ta-da! You said I was easy.
I don't even listen because I don't even remember. I don't even remember if I said it. I don't know what I said.
You said, I think you said it was an easy journey or something like that. And I wanted to interrupt you.
Okay, I said it. I did it. It was me. Hi. Scruff is absolutely. I loved him tons. We only even broke up because he got so busy with college. Aw.
Yeah. But the separation from somebody like that during a time where will I ever physically get to be with you and hug you and hold you and see you?
Scary.
To have an online relationship in a time where the world seemed like it was crashing down on itself. And the unfortunate part where everybody's like, oh, we've made it through it. We're still in it. And this is the only time you're going to hear me say, wake the hell up. We're still in it. On a dream show. We're still here. We're still in it. Wake the hell up. If you guys, I hear everybody say, oh, I wish it was like it was, 10 years ago. Why? Never go backwards. Learn from your past so you can make the future better.
Yeah.
You never want it to be what it was. You want it to be better than it was. Because at the time when you were like, oh, I wish it was back in 1990. But back in 1990, you were going, I wish it was like 1970. Well, it was better at this time. But in reality, it wasn't. Because we were always looking for the future to be better. So let's make the future better, guys. We know how to do it.
Quote. That was a quote, and I liked it, and I sucked it up.
Take it in. All right, you went first on that one. Yes, that's right. Because
it's your turn.
I was biting the belt. I was like, oh, why do you get to go first on this one, son of a bitch? All right, Kelly Clarkson. If you watch this, I just said it because it was funny. Because I love her. She's one of my favorite people. All right, let's go ahead and take our next dream. Who do we got? We've got Elle. Elle says, hello, I'm wondering about 2 dreams. I will keep them short. The first one is of my ex. He was a teenager in my dream, and he gave me a big hug. He was showing me that he was attending a funeral of a friend that choked to death on stage. Since we broke up, he hasn't communicated with me. That makes sense. In the most of my past dreams, he is angry with me. Okay. We'll get to the second dream here in a minute. Because the first dream and the first part, can we put the first part of that dream back up? Showing himself as a teenager is showing you subconsciously that you're not seeing him as an adult and that he acts like a child. So in your head, you cannot see him doing grown things, being an adult about things, not seeing things through adult eyes, not acting like an adult. Maturity level is probably of a teenager. So him seeing a friend's funeral that they were choking and wasn't communicating. That's the part that doesn't shock me, is that because he's not communicating, the reason that the person was dead, which is the relationship, it wasn't a friend that was dead, it's the relationship that's dead. And the reason that he went to that funeral and you were capable of seeing him going to that funeral is because he wasn't speaking to you. He was going to see the death of your guys' relationship. And that's what I got out of the first dream. And she put, true, yes. All right, I'm going to pass this over to Kay, and then we'll get to your second part.
Can I get the dream back up there? Okay. Okay, and then the second part. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna agree a lot with what Journey said, especially about the ending, especially something being so extreme to think about choking to death. That's pretty extreme. So there's a lot of things I feel like that weren't vocalized in that relationship. There's things that were being held back. And I feel like there was probably things that wasn't necessarily being honest about. Um, that was definitely an ending dream. This was I no longer kind of want to have this kind of association. And there's probably not much that's going to come from that relationship. So one thing I would say is this was one that was trying to give you a sense of closure to let you know that this was the ending of one. And what I would do is I would also reflect back on probably the sense of unhappiness that you probably also felt around that time or even with that specific person, because it seems like there was something that was invalidating amongst that relationship because there was a lot of things that weren't being said or you guys weren't communicating properly with each other. And I feel like even now that communication probably has never been the same and probably most likely won't ever be the same. So I think that that dream was saying a whole lot there in regards to how that relationship is going to be and how it was. All right, but we'll go ahead and I guess we can get to the second part of the question.
Since you're already on the screen.
Yeah, I'm here. Second dream. Recently, an old friend from junior high has contacted me. She came into my dream 2 weeks ago. Before contacting me a couple of days ago, she was in my dream again last night, giving me what looked like scrapbook pieces of or offerings of some kind. So this is quite simple. This is just someone who's wanting to make amends with you, and the way that she's communication was always an issue. Okay, oh, that was still the last dream. He also smokes a lot and has throat issues. Okay, all right, yeah. So that makes a lot of sense with that other dream. But yeah, I would say that there's some sort of amendment that is being hoped. I feel like is almost being hoped to have between the two of you. When we think about a scrap paper, scrapbooks, things like that, what are we doing? We're putting something together, we're piecing something together. I feel like there's some things here, this is interesting because that's like another dream here of where you may be needing to say something more present or even face something from your past. I think the fact that she's kind of reaching out now, it's affecting you in some sort of way. It's bringing up, and when I say trigger, a trigger doesn't always necessarily have to be something negative, but I feel like it's triggering something in you, which is why you're having those subconscious dreams, those thoughts and things like that that are kind of coming up. But I feel like there's an amends that is trying to be made, and I feel like in some sort of way you want that relationship to be repaired or fixed in some sort of way, or there's something that you want out of that relationship, and I think that's coming up a lot there as well. All right, so I'll pass you over to Journey.
So I have to agree a lot with Kay on this one about the scrapbooking is piecing things together. It's also piecing together the history. So a scrapbook, you want to be able to piece it together and be able to reflect on it. So the first part of it is premonition like. Knowing that the person's coming, you were able to you had a connection with this person in the past. You were capable of feeling that it was coming back. When the communication did happen, it came as no surprise as you were warning yourself or allowing yourself to know that that person is here. You have the capability. That's what the scrapbook is also showing you, is you have the capability of piecing this back together. But it is up to you to allow things to let things go, let bygones be bygones. What happened in the past should stay there. She says, yes, it was premonition dream. Partially, because the only part of it that gave you a premonition was the very beginning of the dream of her coming back into the dream. But the dream was it went deeper into a dream after it left the premonition part of the dream. It was telling you about piecing things together. Let the past be the past. If you're going to communicate or reflect on the past, allow things to be bygones. Let it be water under the bridge. Don't fight the current. Just hear each other out. Patch things up. You guys will have the capable. You have the capacity to make it happen. Capability is what I was trying to say, but it wasn't coming out, and it did that time. And all right, and I'll say yes, the first part, smiley face. But the thing is that your connection with this person was strong. It seems like time got the best of you, created separation, and there's some crossed wires in there, aggravation, other people being in your lives, taking you guys away from each other. Yes, there has been stuff from the past that has been triggered, correct. But with that being said, you need to let bygones be bygones. Release the past. They do not serve you any justice in the present. So let that go, because it's worthless energy. And if you continue to keep fighting about what happened in the past, you're not learning anything in the present. And it doesn't help you for your future. So, from what I can tell from your dream, you truly want to connect back with your friend. You miss your friend. But both of you need to remember this. You are not the same person they knew, and they are not the same person you knew. You guys have grown in different ways. You guys can come together, learn about each other's new lives, make a new connection on that. Knowing you may have a history, your new connection of rebuilding a connection with somebody is not based on your past. It's based on the present and what the future holds ahead. So don't hold this friendship to what it was back in the day. Create something bigger, better, and something new, and let the past be the past. Let bygones be bygones. Water on the bridge. Water down a duck's back. How many more quotes do we got?
A lot of quotes. I'm glad that this is a recorded show, because then I could just play them all back to myself later on.
And I like this one.
Elle says thank you with all the beautiful heart emojis. We appreciate that.
You are so welcome. That was the throat thing. And when she said, oh, he had throat issues and things like that, when the very accurate. Thank you, sweetheart. We appreciate that. We love your feedback. And when Elle was talking about the throat thing, that's how she connected with him. That's how she knew it was him. Because even in the dream, and I'm pretty sure she knew it was him by that, who he was talking about, because she felt the situation. She could feel the energy, but the person she saw in the dream wasn't recognizable. The only thing she could recognize was his energy, because he was still not the same person that she once knew. So this is a stranger to her, but stranger danger.
Yeah.
Knowing that this was still a bad situation and it was not healthy for her.
And it was making it very clear to her that this thing needed to be cut off and done.
Exactly. The relationship died. They were putting it in the ground.
I was like, well, we can't get no more direct than this, can we?
It's over. It's over. But yeah, with that type of strength to the communication, it's just like, wow, it is what it is. But damn. She says, I also feel like his teenage self is the only part that I could ever apologize, because he became harsher but I know that you say his teenage self was the only part that could apologize, but that's not why you saw his teenage self, because that he wasn't there for an apology. You think he's there for an apology. He's not. You saw him in his teenage self because it was the only part of you that seemed innocent, because the rest of him wasn't.
Yeah.
So the teenage acts like a teenager, didn't get his way, acted like a teenager, did what he wanted like a teenager. They're rebellious energies. It's definitely like the relationship's in the ground. He's still a little asshole. She put true. That's how you were seeing it. You're still seeing him as the little asshole that has an innocent side, but will never show it. She says, yep, totally.
And it's good. That is a situation that is good that it is ended. And I think even now there's a sense of peace that you can make with that whole situation as well, because even with the thing of him mentioning the funeral and things like that, when we think of a funeral, you go there to lay things to rest, to make peace of some sort. So I mean, I think this comes completely full circle. And then even toggling to that second dream,
Yeah.
which is again, someone from the past you're needing to find some sense of peace with. I mean, your dreams are pegging away at you.
Basically, the dreams were just showing she needs to let go of things. She clearly holds on to things forever.
Yeah.
And she's not forgiving the situation. Honey, you never have to forget what happened, but forgiveness is not for just one person. Forgiveness is for yourself as well, meaning you're letting go of what happened. Doesn't mean you have to forgive. Like, you don't have to forget what happened. So you've learned your lesson. You can forgive the situation so you can let it go. It no longer controls you. Don't let the shit own you, because it totally will.
Yes.
It totally will. And Kay, that hour has flown the hell by. It always does on this show. What is
We
oh my
made
God.
it.
She said, "Oh God, y'all nailed it. You nailed it." But we have to let go of things. Forgive the situation, but never forget. Learn your lessons. That way you can move on and your energy, because we'll get stuck in a circle. We all do it to ourselves. We just have to learn to let certain things go. Energy says, another awesome show. Yes, it was, Energy. It's been absolutely beautiful, guys. Now, do remind you guys that next week we won't be here. This show is going to be on a small break, but it will be coming back in just a few weeks. We're just kind of figuring out the time, the days, so everybody gets a better chance of getting on here and having fun with us.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I love this. This was so much fun.
Yes, it is total fun, but we have to make sure that we have the time to do it.
Yes.
Schedule clashes. We have life outside of this, so we have to make sure that we can provide for that too. All right, guys. Well, it has been absolutely beautiful, and I want to say thank you guys so much, and we will keep you guys up to date when we come back with the season 2 of Dream Interpretations. So, in the shadows of dreams. All right, Kay, this has been absolutely beautiful, and we will see you guys all again soon. Bye.